Hey guys, welcome to our review of Kamen Rider 01, episode 37. As always, I'm your host, President Stratos. Here with me today we have...
Cinder Blaze.
Dude, welcome back. I forgot to close my door, but before we get started, I just wanted to remind you that we here at Go Mango stand in full support of the Black Lives Matter movement. So if you haven't already, go over and hit the links in the description down below to where you can go sign petitions or donate money. Whatever you do, as long as you do it, it absolutely helps. So please do something. But with that said, let's dive into our thoughts on this episode, and then we're going to dive into the comments, see what you guys thought about this episode. But yeah, I came away enjoying it. I know that you and Michael had some issues afterward, but I enjoyed it. Like, I had a good time with it.
Yeah, I mean, like, there were good parts to it, and there were some not so good parts to it. I think, like, actually, like, the main gripe I think I had was the Yaiba scene. I felt like that just didn't, like, connect as much.
Really?
Like, I know, like, she was trying to get that apology out, but the way they kind of, like, dance around it, like, I wish they just had it, and they didn't just, like, it's like, oh, yeah, be honest with your feelings, just, like, say you're freaking sorry, like, get this over with. But,
I mean, I feel like that frustration is just human, man.
yeah. But, like, she's kind of been, like, sitting on it for a while, and she has her not stupid, she has her Tamagotchi to kind of, like, coach her through it. And I was like, but I think, I kind of want Yaiba to move on a little bit and kind of, like, get back in the thick of things. Because, like, we're heading towards the finale, and she wastes one more episode through this, then I'm like, you had your chance, but, like, we have to get... We have to get you going, because I don't want her to kind of be like sitting in this like pitiful position, and kind of like, you know, oh, I'm so sorry for it. It's like shut up and just get out there and like deal with the mess you created. Like,
I absolutely hear what you're saying. Like, I definitely want her to like get up and going again, and at least attempt to, or at least have the writers attempt to put her in a good situation to actually succeed in this show. But I still understand like the guilt that she's holding, and that repressed guilt across the rest of the show that just doesn't go away with one little one AI therapy arc session. Like,
yeah.
that'll take a while to chip away at, and I appreciate the way that they're making it out, maybe drawing it out a little more. I hear you in saying maybe one more episode of this, but I feel for it. Like, I liked it, even if it was a little bit, a tiny bit of a half measure. Like, you know, she's trying to put in the work. It's difficult for her because, like, we know she's a lot more of a pragmatic person.
You know, now that you mentioned that it was an AI, I just remembered, like, what if the Ark hijacks it and just tears her off the other lane?
Oh, you're saying I should kill my friends? Well, you haven't steered me wrong before.
I feel like, just to add to the whole torturing of the characters, that would have been really funny. Would have been awful for a character, but
yeah. We also got to see our very first look at Kamen Rider Naki, which was excellent. And it's this is something that I've been discussing back and forth with a lot of my friends at how pre-planned this suit was. Because if you know you're running into like a really slapped together suit, much like Ikazuchi, which just used the base body of Bloodstark and just threw some I guess Metsubo Jinrai armor onto it. Naki's is far more of a dedicated suit. They have armor to them that no one else does, and I'm sure the undersuit is just a Night Rogue body, but I don't know. Like, I wonder how planned this suit was, because it looks really good.
Yeah, for me, I felt like Naki was definitely something that they were like kind of building up towards.
Hmm.
Um, but like I think with all this stuff happening at around this time, especially, it made things really difficult. And I think like the build up had to change a little bit, so it didn't like it felt a little bit weird. I know like the form kind of like popped out of nowhere. Maybe they wanted to do a build up, maybe not, but
That's fair. I
I
mean,
just
like it does. I do wish there was more fanfare around it. Um, I do wish there was more,
and more.
I guess excitement around it. Yes, more. We can't do that. Um, there probably could have been more excitement around it, but
Like
because it did feel lacking. It did feel a little lacking. Um, but I still liked it. Like we got all right fights out of it. I feel like if there was more planning to it, um, we could have gotten it something a bit more spectacular. But so far, their debut as a suit was lumped in with like the transformation of everyone, which kind of sucks
yeah.
because they don't get their moment to shine.
Yeah. I think that like maybe in some special they would have built up towards it a little bit more because like I don't even know where like that key came from, like the Japanese wolf one.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think that was kind of like it was a little bit weird. Whereas with like Ikazuchi, I think he has like Dodo, right? He kind of inherited that. Like that's what his suit
Uh,
looks like, right? It's the one that the Dodo guy used.
oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so that's that's its own thing. What do you feel about Bowser this episode? Because I think this is one of the few episodes where I actually liked like what he did in the show, kind of
Interesting. Like
like his
like
dynamic
his
in the episode.
function.
Yeah,
Okay.
his function.
Like
Like
I thought, yeah, he served a good purpose of getting shat on,
yeah,
as we usually.
he
Yeah,
comes
it's a
up,
good time.
presents the new merchandise.
Yes. By Zaya. Presents by Zaya.
But I
Um,
thought that his fight with MetsuboJinrai.net was a little bit on the cooler side. Like he kind of goes in confidently against like people who are way out of his league and puts up a decent fight. Like he didn't
well,
get outright thrashed, but
I mean, I get that's really how they chose to portray it. Like the what is it, Hirobi and someone else, like two people were fighting two of the horseshoe crab dudes. Those guys should have been gone in like seconds. You are spending way too long on them. Two guys fighting Thouser though, like he was holding his own, and it was really cool to see. I'll be honest, it was, especially since he was using ice powers. Um, but I don't know, like I don't know what my point here is. It was nice.
yeah,
I don't know what I was trying to say.
uh,
Um,
yeah, I kind of wanted to see him like attempt using a jacking break on Arc, but maybe that'll be something for a later episode. Maybe a
Potentially.
power up. Maybe that's how they beat him. Who knows?
I have no idea. I
Yeah.
really hope he doesn't become like too integral to the plot because obviously everyone's shouting about it how they don't want him to get a redemption arc, and I feel like if they're leaning toward it even a little bit, we're just gonna get one, or at least he'll become slightly an ally, which fine. I just don't want him to like once again have an integral role in defeating the enemy. Um, it would be neat if like we take down Metsubo Jinrai, and then suddenly he becomes like the main villain for like a V cinema.
I don't know. I think like if they're gonna have a redemption episode, which it looks like they're doing next episode, they know
Yeah.
it'd be kind of forced to have something like that, especially because like they're kind of like gearing towards him being an ally. I think they would need Bowser's help in defeating Ark, because he's probably one of the best engineers to do so.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
him
I'm
and
not saying
Yaiba.
yeah, but like I feel like he might serve that Loki role because I see a lot of people who really like Bowser, not like as a person, but just his presence.
As a
Uh,
villain,
I suppose like the way that people like Loki. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading it differently. Maybe I'm just not understanding it. Um, but I there is some love for Thouser that I have seen, which I don't understand. But if that is the case, that there is something for him, maybe he is serving that Loki-like function. And there is something larger to be said about, I guess, my sort of like little fan theory, or just they want to make so many homages to Iron Man here, and I feel like Arc Zero is a really big like he's giving off a lot of Ultron vibes.
yeah,
Yeah, and I feel like this is his Ultron so far, and I think because we are in a new generation, right? We are in Reiwa. This is a clean slate for them. It would be smart if they did, like yearly storytelling like they did with Marvel. Like maybe pre-plan something like a big story arc just a little bit more, right? And then have it lead into something bigger. If they wanted to take that many cues, because Marvel is big and it is popular. Um, and this homages Iron Man a lot. I
yeah.
don't know,
I
just
feel
giving
like
it a
that's.
strange look.
I feel like it's a bit of a stretch for Kamen Rider. Like you were talking like earlier, how it's like hard to get actors, and like if we're just doing like these overarching kind of like plot things.
But if it's in their contract from the beginning, you have this many movies in your contract. Please show up. I, it, I feel like if they pre-plan it enough, you know, and they know there's big success in this, and they know that their movies, like their summer movies and whatnot, don't hit as hard as any of the blockbusters like Marvel or DC can put out. Well, Marvel can put out.
Hey, Aquaman was.
Aquaman was good. Oh, I loved Aquaman, dude. I love DC. Don't. I'm just sad when it doesn't do well.
Oh yeah,
Justice League
so
was fine.
how
Anyway,
about Arc Zero versus Zero One? Like, why do you think he spared his life at the very end? Could he possibly be his dad?
I don't know, potentially, or at least have some of the data in him. I or at the very least, it could have been Jin in the suit being like, "Hey, no, 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 hold on, don't kill him," and like exerting at least a little bit of
Influence?
resistance. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's more akin to that, but I don't know. I have no idea.
yeah. All right,
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
down for some comments.
All right, because there are so many. I
Oh,
saw that there were 8, but sometimes YouTube, this thing displays it as more or less than what we have. So, first comment from Ryugano says, "Another good episode. I appreciate the vice president finally having enough
mm,
of guy shit."
that
Yes,
was my favorite part of the episode. I forgot
that was
completely
so
about.
good. And the relationship between him and Arto was so beautiful to see, like them being friendly to each other. I
Dude,
love that they can
he's
finally just do that.
he's a better dad to Aruto than like Jackie. I mean, like, okay, Jackie Chan saved his life, but like the whole like the bonding between like a father
Yeah.
and son, I feel like he's like a better father figure that we've seen so far.
Potentially, just in that he's kind of human, but like in this moment, yes. Beforehand, he was sort of trying to undercut him and slightly compete with him, which I do not see as like a fatherly thing. But when it came down to it, He was trying to preserve the company that his grandfather created, and he really wanted the best for everyone. So I guess his heart was in the right place, you know?
Yeah.
But to continue, as well as help Aruto realize he's losing who he is because of the Arc Zero fight. Really do like Kamen Rider Naki, and I fucking laughed so hard that they were the reason Guy was in his undies. Another highlight for me in this episode was the new background music when Aruto was fighting Arc Zero. It got me really pumped. Can't wait to see what's next. That's another thing that I forgot. We hadn't had new music in such a long time, and I don't think I've heard too many insert songs in this
It was
show.
an entire series. Yeah, like I only remember like the one.
I feel like there might have been one in the initial fight where Jin blew up, but I'm not 100% sure. It's nice to have a change of pace to the music. All right. Oh, thank you for the comment. Rajik Rasul says, "Man, P Bandai really advertising on whatever they see on TV like guys' underwear. Overall, good episode. The highlight was Naki using her Wolverine claw to cut guys' clothes. I feel next week is mixed for me after everything Guy did to Aruto is not worth to being called a friend. We will definitely see. Like, I'm not gonna judge it until it actually happens. So
Yeah. I mean, I had a techno when I was little, so I probably will sympathize with him a little bit.
All right. Double the Unknown says the episode was really good, but the preview kind of ruined it for me. I'll explain in a separate comment. Oh my god, how many do you have, sir? First off, I guess I was wrong about the person Jin talking to being Yua, as he talked to the person again in the beginning of the episode. I'm still certain it's going to turn out to be a relative of Aruto's. Naki was really cool, and the rider kick reminded me of Chun-Li's super in the Street Fighter games. As I stated last week, I really like the VP getting involved and love the talk he had with Aruto. I love that Arc Zero's power appears to differ based on the host's resistance, which allows for the fights to remain interesting since he won't necessarily just walk over his opposition each time. That's true. There is a chink in his armor, and they can't exploit it. Especially since they do have a relationship with just about each of the members of Mitsubo Jinrai.
Yeah.
Where was I? I love that Arc Zero's powers. Yeah. Also, Fua clearly isn't a Japanese wolf. His nationality is shooting. That was
glad to
good.
know he's American.
Yeah. All right. That preview. Honestly, I'm okay with them choosing to redeem Guy if it's done properly, but having him change sides in the same episode in which he hits rock bottom is way too rushed. We spent most of this show hating Guy, and the way they established his villainy has done more to hurt the plot than it has helped. I really hope the preview is just misleading and he only makes a temporary alliance to beat a common enemy. Otherwise, it will all come down to how they explain his change of heart, because his type of decision is something that could ruin the entirety of the show. Though I must say, this one last thing about Guy, and it is that he needs to be selling those Zaya briefs and not Raid Risers, because those things are indestructible and actually live up to the high quality he claims his products to have. Little did you know, though, it actually turns your genitals evil. So you might want to beware about the Zaya underwear. So,
Where did you get this data from?
Bro, he turns everything evil with his stuff. Of
All
course
right.
it's gonna turn your genitals evil.
All right.
But yeah. You know what? For me, at this moment, I don't know that I'm okay with Guy going good, but I've made peace with it specifically because I've had so much time away from the show that, like, his past transgressions, I've kind of, like, they're not really at the forefront of my mind. So probably upon a rewatch and having all of it, in sequence, I'll probably feel much more strong about it. But at present, I'm like, all right, it's what the show's doing. It's what Kamen Rider does now. We can't really stop this. Okay, we'll just see where it goes. Hopefully, it'll be all right. Um, but yeah, okay. Next up, we have Andy L. As predicted, 1000% dirt eating and Aruto now realize AI human gear overpowering human if they are not better than us to being with what's the point. And you all lost to Dodo super bad before, so now Aruto just suddenly being depressed for the pep talk can take place. Aruto has a character and CEO doesn't really think much throughout the show. Now just gonna turn up his concern while he said dream, dream, dream to an annoying level the whole time. Being a native, passionate person is fine. Oh, naive, passionate person is fine. Just done right him as a crowd or overly concerned person for the sake of doing it. But they did well with the vice president crew, at least. That's some redeeming writing and wish it was done earlier with the build-up and last longer than 10 minutes. And Arc still holds up as a villain, which is nice. Just get over with the 1000% dumb plot and push us right into the final battle ASAP. Next week for Kamen Rider 1000%'s Child Fear, just gonna use 1000% bleach to wash Guy and turn him as a little nice person. Forget all, both him and Aruto. Let Arc grow to his point. Great stuff. Rockman fan responds to that comment saying, the funny thing that Dodo moment, Izu is like, you lost because the Shining Key was incomplete.
I wasn't paying attention.
Thank you for your comment.
Yeah.
Thank you for your comment.
We're gonna mull on that one.
Yeah. Lastly, we have from Yuki Miyazaki, who says Yaiba Miyazaki. First of all, premium Bandai's undies 1000% comfortable and fit your body like a charm until they turn your genitals evil. Don't buy them. Okay, but this episode is a mixed bag. First of all, I like all the vice president's side of the stuff, having fed up with all Guy decision toward the company and how he handled things, and giving Aruto some real eye-opener. Second, I didn't like that Arc have the chance to actually kill two character, Guy and Aruto, but didn't even bother, although we got glimpses of Aruto, but decided not to. This will inevitably bite him later on, obviously. But to me, I still feel like that's the influence from Jin. And lastly, Yua. Yeah, I feel bad for the actress that her character is this bad. Overall, I'm mixed with this episode, and the next episode probably will be less enjoyable because they probably going to make a Guy a good person with Robo-Dog backstory. And then Rockman Fan 100 once again responds, reminder Jin the host of Arc that battle. So yeah, pretty much saying that Jin is probably the one holding him back. That's what I'm thinking, because I see no other purpose for him to not kill him, unless it is for some reason his dad. Then
probably slurped up a bunch of singularity data. He's slightly human, I guess.
Yeah. Guys, thank you for your comments. That was a lot of them. And I guess, as we're winding down and the show is ramping up, a lot of people are gonna have a lot more thoughts. So thank you to everyone who commented. And yeah, if you want to talk to us some more, put them in the comments down below. And then also down below is also where you can find the links to the Black Lives Matter movement. If you haven't already, go ahead and donate or sign petitions if you can. They're 100% free to sign the petitions and whatnot. So just do anything. Just do one of those things down there. As long as you do something, it absolutely helps. Find a cause you really like. Guys, thanks for watching. Keep it juicy.
Yeah, see ya.
So how long have you been checked out for, sir?
No, it was just that one comment because like it just stopped being English.
Oh no! We're gonna find out that person is English second language, and you're.